This is the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast. We have assembled the world's finest sports and trivia dorks to prove once and for all that we are just as bad at this as we were at sports. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast, sports trivia for those of us who rode the pine. I am not your host, Matt, and tonight's game will be pitching two Benchwarmer teams against each other with a guest host who we'll get to in just a moment. Our teams will be myself and David versus Dan and Scott. So let's start with Scott. Scott, hello. How are you, sir?
Thanks for starting with me. I don't know why, but I always get a kick when you do. I am not your host, Matt. I always say it along with you. I don't know what it is. It's just the way that you say it is so like gleeful. Like you're so happy to not be hosting. It really comes out. So I appreciate that. Other than that, I'm good. I'm just happy to be podcasting and excited for tonight's game. We have a great guest host that you guys will meet in a second. I'm glad he decided to come back and join us, and I'm looking forward to his game.
All right, and you'll be teaming up with Dan tonight. Dan, why don't you go ahead and tell us how you've been doing and also give us your team name.
You assumed I had the team name.
I assume both of you have the team name.
Well, we both, I mean, all of us have the team name. We know the team name.
We do.
How far into advance is this one going? Like, what are we, like beginning of November sometime in there?
No, it'll be like the third week in November, probably.
Third week so we're almost in Christmas season at that point.
Almost.
Yeah,
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah, this works then.
Yeah, sure.
It does.
Yeah.
Scott and I are always, for some reason, always have something to do with fudge. I think it started with chocolate vanilla fudge, which was just perfect. And then we had Go for Big Fudge. We had Go Bear for Big Fudge. Go for Big Dongle was one at one point in time. So tonight, our team name is going to be in the spirit of the holidays. Oh, fudge. Except we didn't say fudge.
Oh, man. What a classic. All right, now we'll go over to myself and David, and I talked too much already, so I'm fine. Everything's all good. It's October. Today was 22 degrees here in Omaha, which everyone freaked out about, and I sat there going, yeah, but whatever. People are weak, so I'm doing good. David came up with our team name, so David, why don't you go ahead and tell us how you're doing and give us a team name.
I'm good, and we had our normal sort of negotiation back and forth about trying to find some common ground for me and Matt is not always easy, but we both like Ted Lasso. So we decided that tonight, in honor of Ted Lasso, our team name is going to be T is Garbage Water.
All right. And to host our game tonight, we have a patron. He's an equipment manager, and he's been on the show, Meesh Resnick. Meesh, how are you, sir?
Thank you for that introduction, Matt. It's good to be here. Thanks for letting me host. This is my third time on. I'm 0-2 in playing, and I just don't see a path to victory. So one of my losses was the Scott COVID game that he has mentioned at least once since then.
Sorry, not sorry.
But yeah, anyway, I'm from San Francisco. I'm a fan of the Cleveland teams. Browns, Guardians, who 2 hours ago lost in Game 5 to the Yankees, and we're all very sad about it.
I think all of us are with you on that one, by the way.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, maybe not Scott, but
I mean, my brother works for them, so
that's true.
But anyway, yeah. Cleveland teams, the Mets. I went to Michigan, so I'm a fan of them. Pause for boos. Someone booed me last time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited to host. So thanks for having me on. Nice to meet you, David. This is my first time meeting you.
Yeah, great meeting you.
We'll see how this goes.
We have our host, we have our players. Let's go ahead and kick it over to Dan for the rules.
The game will consist of 4 quarters of play, each with different trivia style. The styles of quarters 1 through 3 will change from show to show, and I will explain them as we go along. Like any good sporting event, we will have a halftime show after the second quarter with entertainment questions. And in the fourth quarter, our teams will wager from their points accumulated to see who are today's clipboard captains, to be honored like the true benchwarmers they are. All right? let's get this game underway.
All right. Well, thank you, Dan, for those rules, and we'll hand it over to Meesh for the first quarter.
The first quarter will be flop, turn, and river.
Flop, turn, and river. For this quarter, there will be 3 questions consisting of 5 clues. The first 3 clues will be given before the teams decide if they want to check in with their guests. The last 2 clues will be given one at a time, with teams deciding if they want to check in with their guests after each subsequent clue. If a correct answer is checked in after the first 3 clues, the team will receive 50 points. After the 4th clue, 30, and after the 5th clue, 20.
So the first question is a who am I? Clue 1, one of 8 NBA players to win 3 or more straight scoring titles. 2, two-time NBA champion, both with the same team. And 3, my lone MVP award came 7 years before my first championship and with a different team.
All right, Meesh, we're checked in.
Okay, team O Fudge, except we didn't say fudge. Let's check in. T is garbage water. You can talk it out.
All right. So we threw a bunch of names around, and I don't want to sound like an idiot by saying those are the ones because none of them fit within our thing, but I'll just cut right to it. David mentioned Kevin Durant, and that does make sense that he won an MVP when he was with the Thunder. Then he won 2 championships when he was with Golden State.
And that would have been about 7 years.
And that does make sense.
And he won 3 straight scoring titles. I'm trying to think of other guys who won 3 straight scoring titles because
I didn't know he won 3 straight scoring titles. I just know those other 2.
I'm pretty sure he did. Wilt did. Obviously, Jordan did, but Jordan only won with the same team. I think Bob McAdoo won, but I'm trying to think if Bob McAdoo. I mean, that would be pretty far back. But he did win with the Lakers.
Plus, everyone up until like the late 70s all stayed with the same team. People hardly ever moved around. A person who won an MVP wouldn't have been on a different team just a couple of years later.
No, but McAdoo would almost qualify. I was just trying to think of people who were prolific scorers because he was a scoring champ for when he played for Buffalo, and then he didn't win MVP. He didn't. I'm trying to remember if he won the MVP, but he definitely won the championship, probably even 2 of them with the Lakers. That's why I'm nervous.
This is Meesh though. Meesh probably doesn't even know who McAdoo is.
Could be Purvis Ellison.
Yeah.
He did say very specifically that his game skews newer. So
he did. I mean, do you want to count on that? And then, because he could be trying to trick us deliberately.
I doubt that Meesh is that diabolical at this point. His first game ever. I don't think he's sitting there trying to trick people on the first question of the first game.
No, cool. So do you want to check in with Kevin Durant then?
Sure, let's do that.
Okay.
Team O Fudge, what did you check in with?
Yeah, we even though the criteria, this seemed like it might be older, I also kind of figured this would play newer. So with that in mind and going through the criteria, we also checked in with Kevin Durant.
Okay, so neither team is getting points. And I feel bad because I was not trying to trick, but the word skew does not mean every question's me, as you guys know.
What's clue 4? Let's see if we can get it.
Clue 4, the list of Hall of Famers I played with include Walt Frazier, Dave Cowens, Bob Lanier, James Worthy, and Charles Barkley.
Walt Frazier, Dave Cowens, Charles Barkley.
Bob Lanier.
Barkley.
Okay, why don't you go ahead and give us clue 5?
Clue 5, won the 1975 NBA MVP award as a member of the Buffalo Braves and won 2 championships as a Laker in the 80s.
McAdoo.
That's Bob McAdoo.
When did he play with Charles Barkley?
He was on the Sixers at the very end.
He was on the Sixers in the mid-'80s.
Oh.
After he went to the Lakers, he was with the Sixers.
Clue 4 was kind of me just saying he played in the 70s and 80s and jumped around teams.
He went from Buffalo. I know at some point he was with the Celtics, but it was like for a cup of coffee. So that must have been when he played with Cowens. He must have just missed Larry Bird.
Yeah.
But yes, he didn't win his championships until he got to the Showtime Lakers. Freaking A. I had that.
But yeah, Bob McAdoo is always like one of the guys for me where you go on his like reference page and it's just like, this guy was so good. Why is no one talking about how good this guy was? And if you look at his stats in the mid 70s, it was just like 3 straight years of 30 points per game, like 15 rebounds. I don't know. It was just good and no one's talking about him. So, but yeah, the eight players who did the scoring title repeat were, George Mikan, Neil Johnston, Bob McAdoo, George Gervin, Kevin Durant, Wilt Chamberlain, Michael Jordan. Kevin Durant's MVP was 2014, and his first championship was 2017.
Who was that second name on that list?
Neil Johnston, he's 50s.
Neil Johnston?
Yeah, I wasn't going to make a Neil Johnston question, don't worry.
Never heard that name before.
Harden got 3 in a row, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, James Harden. I skipped over him. 18, 19, 20.
That's fine.
Okay. You can skip over him. Yeah,
that's fine.
Yep.
All right, let's move on. We're going to spend 20 minutes on the first question. There we go.
McAdoo.
All right.
Question 2, another who am I? 1, drafted by a team in my native state. 2, won 1 championship in college and 1 in the pros. 3, lost in the conference finals to the same team 3 times in 4 years. And by conference finals, it's a generic term. It can mean any sport.
Meesh, I think we're going to need another clue.
Yeah, we should take the next one then.
So both teams are going to need another clue?
Yep.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
Okay. Clue 4. The first QB to throw for 3 or more touchdowns in 3 straight playoff games.
So it's a baseball player.
Glad we had it narrowed down.
I think we need another one. I think even if we come up with the team or something like that, it's still, we're a ways away. So
I thought I had the team, but number 4 killed it.
Oh, Fudge, do you also need another clue?
yeah, we're going to need another clue.
I think we have to.
Okay. Clue 5. Won my only Super Bowl, backing up Troy Aikman and my national championship at University of Miami.
It was it. We can check in.
Oh, Fudge has checked in. T is garbage water. You can talk it out.
Bernie Kosar?
I guess.
Wait a minute. Where was he from, though? It says hometown. It doesn't say he was drafted in the same state that he was. Where was Bernie? Wait a minute. I think I know where Bernie Kosar is from. Where was Bernie Kosar from? He's from Ohio. He was drafted by the Browns. It's Bernie Kosar. Yeah, it's Bernie Kosar.
All right, we'll check in with Bernie Kosar.
Okay. T is garbage water has checked in with Bernie Kosar. Oh, Fudge, what did you guys check in with?
I had the Browns after the flop, and then the turn threw me off of Bernie Kosar because I didn't see him winning a Super Bowl. And then you said that he backed it up. I'm like, we also said Bernie Kosar as soon as you said the 5th one.
Okay, so both teams are getting points. But yeah, I kind of threw in, the turn was more like, here's what sport it is. It's a quarterback. And then maybe you would know the era from like, when did quarterbacks start actually throwing touchdowns?
Yeah, no, I mean, we had the Browns because they struggled with the Broncos for forever. Yeah. And
also I know you guys have a history of early in the game forgetting to know your guest hosts.
No, that's again why I thought the Browns.
Yeah.
I just did not see Bernie Kosar ever having won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And
because when you're a guy that plays for the Browns, you don't think of anyone that played for the Browns.
No, I guess the Bernie Kosar won a Super Bowl thing is way more not as common knowledge as I thought. And then moving on to question 3. What school am I? 1. Had 7 players drafted in the 2013 NFL draft, most for a school not in a former Confederate state. Number 2. Lost to Notre Dame in the 2022 men's NCAA basketball First Four. Number 3. Runner-up in the 2007 women's NCAA basketball tournament.
I think that's it, Matt. I really think we should check in.
Okay.
We'll check in.
Okay. Tia's garbage water has checked in. Oh, Fudge, you can talk it out.
I was thinking back to 2007 around where I was, and that was around the time that Don Imus made his stupid talked about some very racist things about this team, and I think it was that they made the finals of the women's tournament, and it was Rutgers. Could you see 7 players making the 2013 NFL draft?
Yeah, they were pretty good. Like, they had a good squad around that time. That's how I was approaching it, thinking of schools that were putting some players into the league. And Rutgers would fit around that time. That's like the Kenny Britt, a little after the Kenny Britt years. So they were still kind of good.
I have no recollection of Notre Dame playing Rutgers in a play-in game. I have no recollection.
Yeah,
of
I don't
that,
either.
But Rutgers fits for the 2007 women's. I'm pretty sure it does. So
I remember them making a run around that time. Yeah, so that's when I graduated high school, guys. So I think I remember them making a run around then.
Damn, you're old.
So I know. I feel good about that.
All right, let's check in Rutgers then.
Okay. Fudge has checked in with Rutgers. Tia's Garbage Water, what did you check in with?
Yeah, just as David had sent over Rutgers, I was in the middle of typing. I have an odd reference point for this one. Was this that New York shock jock DJ guy that called the Rutgers girls a bunch of racist names? And he said Don Imus, and I said, yep, I think that's about that time frame. So we also checked in with Rutgers.
Both teams are getting points. The answer is Rutgers. This was not a know your host, but it was a research your host, because if you listen to the other episodes I was on, I am kind of a Rutgers fan. My dad went there. So Shout out Bruce. But yeah, clue 4 was just going to be I'm the alma mater of the first pair of twins to play in the Super Bowl, the McCourtys. And clue 5 was going to be I joined the Big Ten in 2014.
Oh, right, because that's when the Patriots were drafting all those Rutgers defensive backs. That's right. Logan Ryan.
Yeah. Also, 4 of the 7 were the 7th round, but we don't need to talk about that.
Yeah.
So after our first quarter, both teams struggled with the first question, struggled with the second question, and then miraculously got the third question after the flop. It is all knotted up at 70 points.
We wanted to let you know that we are on Patreon if you'd be interested in supporting us financially. Your contributions will be used to help us cover the costs that it takes to bring you the high-quality sports trivia you have come to expect from us. There's also some great perks that come with the Patreon membership to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast, including bonus episodes and Benchwarmers swag. You can find us at patreon.com/benchwarmerstp. Thanks.
Okay, and now moving on to the second quarter, which will be pre and post game.
Pre and post game. For this quarter, there will be 4 before and after style questions. For example, if I said, what all-time leader in receptions for the Indianapolis Colts was a Notre Dame safety drafted by the Minnesota Vikings, the answer would be Marvin Harrison Smith. Each question is worth 25 points.
Question 1. First team All-Pro for the 2021 Ravens, who has 240 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns for the team so far in 2022. We're recording on October 18th, right after week 6, and won 5 gold medals between 2008 and 2016, with 4 coming as a relay teammate of Michael Phelps.
Okay, then let's check it in, yeah?
Yep.
Okay. Tia's Garbage Water has checked in. Oh, Fudge, you can talk it out.
We got like a minute, guys.
Thanks.
All right. Great.
I don't know. Sorry.
Stop time for us, Matt. I don't know. I mean, it seems like you have, several people that were teammates of Michael Phelps, and I can name the entire Ravens receiving and tight end and running backs core, and none of it seems to fit together.
Right.
And he did say that they're still on the Ravens, so I don't have to think about guys that left, right? Like Sammy Watkins.
Yeah, I mean,
I think this is Devin Duvernay. I think it almost has to be because of the All-Pro, because I believe he was an All-Pro returner. And the only other All-Pro they had is Mark Andrews, but he has way more than 240 receiving yards so far this season.
Right.
It's not Rashad Bateman. There's no chance he was an All-Pro last year.
Yeah, I'm Ryan Lochte.
Oh yeah, he's a knucklehead.
Yeah, he is.
Known knucklehead, Ryan Lochte.
Jason Lezak, but that
I can't think of anyone whose name would end in like J.
Yeah, I don't think we have this.
Devin Duvernay J. It's a typo.
I'm just gonna throw this out there. Josh is just gonna have to bill me because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna end up having to say something after we hear this. I don't have anything else on this. So
I don't either. I can't think of anyone else that fits. And you've named the only other swimmers besides Michael Phelps from that era that I ever even heard of.
So it's Devin Duvernay, Jason Lezak.
That's right. We're gonna hope for a typo.
Yeah.
Okay. Fudge has checked in with Devin Duvernay, Jason Lezak. He is garbage water. What did you guys check in with?
I guess I'll take this one. So Matt came up with Devin Duvernay, and I'm pretty sure the swimmer is Nathan Adrian, which I then wrote to Matt as Yo Adrian. But yes, Devin Duvernay, Nathan Adrian.
Okay, one team is getting points. Nathan Adrian did win 5 gold medals, 4 of which were as a teammate of Michael Phelps in the relays, and Devin Duvernay was a first-team All-Pro as a punt returner. So Devin Duvernay
was a punt returner.
That's literally what I said. Literally what I said to
Devin
Dan.
Duvernay
He saw
had
that.
okay numbers last year, but as
His
All-Pro
only good numbers were as a punt returner last year.
So Scott, you still got 0 points.
Yeah.
But
I'm happy at least that it was Duvernay.
You did everything I wanted to do as the writer of the question. Is it Mark Andrews? Andrew could be a first name. No, it's not Mark Andrews. His stats are way better. It's got to be Devin Duvernay.
Yep.
All right, hold on. Dan?
Who is this guy? Never heard of him.
Which one?
Oh, you've heard of Devin Duvernay.
I've heard of Duvernay.
Oh, Nathan Adrian, the All-Pro punt returner?
Yeah.
Nathan Adrian actually also won the 100-meter freestyle solo in the 2012 London Olympics. So he's legit.
I think he was a Berkeley swimmer, a Cal swimmer.
He was, yes. Okay, moving on to question 2 of pre and post game. The first alliteratively named player to win the NFL MVP, meaning first and last names start with the same letter, and the first tennis player representing China to win a singles Grand Slam.
All right, we'll check in.
Okay, T is garbage water has checked in. Fudge, except we didn't say fudge. You can talk it out.
We might have to say
I'm about
fudge about this round.
to say it.
Yeah. Be sure to drink your Ovaltine, Dan. It might help.
The only name I can come up with at all is, and I think she won, Lee Na.
Okay.
But that.
So who's Lance Lee? Did he win NFL MVP?
I mean, we thought Thurman Thomas would have been the.
Yeah. But I just don't know how we get to a Chinese name from
No,
Thomas.
I don't.
So is there an NFL player something Lee?
I can't think of anyone.
Liam Lee. If there is, it would be far back. But I can't.
I'm having a real hard time coming up with anyone else who had a alliterative name.
Yeah, like I said, I have some people, but I know they didn't win NFL MVP.
I literally cannot think of anybody else except for Thurman Thomas.
Yeah.
And that Thomas isn't going to get us anywhere.
No. And I don't even want to alienate our Chinese audience and start naming last names. I don't want to offend. I know we have a strong presence in China.
Yeah.
I don't want to mess that up.
Yeah, most of our downloads come from there.
Yeah,
could be worse. You could mispronounce our host's name.
Oh, come on.
Oh, Reskin. Yeah, I could do that.
Scott, I hate this. I don't have anything.
Devin Duverjay.
More.
So is it Lee Na, you said?
That's the only name I know. She won I don't know, 8-9 years ago, something like that.
Okay. Lucas Lee. That sounds like a character from a USA show. I don't know.
No.
Something Lee Na?
Leon Lee Na. I don't know.
That sounds like a Beatles song. All right, Leon Lee Na. We're checking in with that.
Okay. Fudge checks in with Leon Lee Na. He is garbage water. What did you check in with?
David got the Lena pretty quickly. And Dan, if you can think of any non-quarterback, running back, wide receiver that ever won the NFL MVP, could you think of a 1983 kicker that won it?
83 kicker.
Pretty sure it was
I thought
83. That was
Scott
the
was
strike
gonna-
shortened season, right?
The
Was that
only
83?
kicker, the only kicker ever won, and the last straight on kicker that I can remember.
His name was Mark Mosley. So Mark Mosley now.
Okay. He is garbage water. Checked in with Mark Mosley Na. And one team is getting points. The answer is Mark Mosley Na. I mean, I'm sorry, guys. I don't know. That one always stuck out to me. That one always stuck out to me because I'm pretty young and of the analytics generation, and the idea that the word valuable can be attached to a kicker in that way has always just freaked me out. So Mark Mosley has always stuck in my head. How do you give a kicker an MVP award? And he also did not, fun fact, he did not make a field goal over 50 yards that season.
I think they only played 11 or 12 games that season or something, right? Because
it was like 19 of 20. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't even research that far because I was too angry about the kicker winning MVP. I couldn't go further.
Wait, my middle school assistant principal, Mr. Mosley, was an NFL MVP? Sounds like an assistant principal name.
Okay, so I'm just all I'm going to do is just ask that for this next one, I've heard of both of the people in it. That's all I'm asking.
Did Ede reach out to you and say, listen, Scott loves pre and post game, write one that's going to make him never want to do it again?
We'll see how this one goes.
It was a women's tennis player. There's no way Eric's hands is on.
That's fair. You're right.
Oh, also, I forgot to mention, yes, the only other alliterative MVP was Thurman Thomas. And Lee Na is the only player representing China to win a singles Grand Slam.
You just wait till Devin Duvernay wins that MVP, okay?
The thing is that I came up with Lee Na for this.
We still couldn't get it.
Still didn't get
it.
And Scott told you it sounded like a Beatles song, so
she loves Leon Lee Na did, yeah, for sure.
She loves you, Lee Na.
Obli di, obli da, Lee Na, yeah.
Obli di, obli da, Lee Na. Wow. Okay, just a second.
Okay. On to question 3 of pre and post game. The Sun Belt school that is the alma mater of the Browns 2010 Week 1 starter and 49ers running back Elijah Mitchell, and the name of the all-star guard who had the third most triple doubles in the 80s.
Oh, you know something? This came up on a recent episode. I got this, Matt. We can check in.
Oh, geez. Okay.
I'm good.
He is garbage water has checked in. Oh, fudge. I've said this sentence a few times now.
Third most triple doubles in the 80s.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Let's assume Magic's 1.
All right, so back. Okay, so Seneca Wallace was on that team.
God. Seneca Wallace was on that team. Where did he go to school?
I don't remember. Where'd Jake Delhomme go? He was on that team.
Oh. Yeah, I guess he was in 2010, huh? Some small school. Like in the Sun Belt, perhaps.
Like in the Sun Belt?
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking of the wrong conference altogether for some reason. Okay. Sunbelt's out here. I don't.
Okay, so like
your Old Dominion and
okay,
like App State.
Appalachian State, Old Dominion. Okay, I don't think either of those words. State is there a regard to state?
Yeah, no.
Old Dominion, yin. No, that could be Chinese again now.
Yeah, I don't have anything on this. Unless there's a Troy. Was there a Troy?
I'm sure there was, but not one I could think of that was pulling down triple doubles in the 80s.
Troy Bell?
Yeah. It's the Celtics player, Troy Murphy, former Warriors.
We got nothing on this, Scott.
Fat Lever had a bunch of triple doubles in the 80s. Yeah. That doesn't help. I don't know. Troy makes the most sense, I guess.
Yeah, we don't have it.
Troy
McClure.
McClure.
I'm Troy McClure.
We're gonna check in with Troy.
Okay.
/ Helen of.
Oh, Fudge has checked in with an answer. T is garbage water. What did you check in with?
Yeah, so the 80s.
This one I'll admit was me, guys. Sorry.
So the 80s are definitely my NBA decade. And I said to Matt almost immediately that triple doubles had to have gone Magic, then Larry, and then Fat Lever. Then I remember that Fat Lever's real first name is Lafayette, and the Sun Belt Conference has Louisiana Lafayette Lever. Well, it has Louisiana Lafayette. Yeah.
One team is getting points. The correct answer is Louisiana Lafayette, also known as Fat Lever. Yeah, sorry about that one.
Are you though?
I had texted David because Fat Lever's always had extra relevance to me. Because he's a joke online that when someone will have a game and in the broadcast they do those really specific stats where they're like, oh, this is the first player to have 18 points, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 7 rebounds, 7 assists or whatever, and then it's always like LeBron, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird. Fat Lever is always on that list, and he's just so irrelevant, but he put up crazy stats in the 80s. So Fat Lever is in my
Who's the Browns QB?
Oh, Jake Delhomme.
Oh, so he did go to UL Lafayette. Okay.
On to question 4, pre and post game. Winner of the 2015 World Series, starting in all 5 games as an infielder, and loser of the 2015 World Series, appearing in just 3 games.
Oh, that's it. Yes.
Check it in.
We got one.
Let's go. I've been waiting to hear that sentence. Oh, Fudge has checked in. He is garbage water. You can talk it out.
So we're pretty sure 2015 is Royals Mets. Royals 1 and 5. So we need a Royals infielder and a Mets, no specific position. So Royals infielders.
Started in all 5 games. How many games did that series go?
I think it only went 5.
I think you're right. So the ones I can think of were Eric Hosmer was the first baseman, right?
Hosmer, Mur. Okay, keep going. Who else you got?
I think Mike Moustakas. I think he was with them about that time. He was a Twins killer. Yeah, he was the third baseman, I think.
Wasn't Bartolo Colon with the Mets then? I'm trying to think of guys who would have only appeared in 3 games. I mean, it's possible it was a pitcher.
Probably
right?
was a pitcher, a reliever, or
it doesn't have
a starting
to be.
Pitcher. Yeah,
right. I mean, I don't know how we'd be expected to know a position player that only played 3 games. That's why I was going to pitchers.
I think you're right.
So something that ends with bar. Wait. Oh! It's that guy. It is Escobar.
For some reason, it got stuck in my head. That starts with an A, like an owl.
Al, that Al.
Talk about a principal name.
Jimmy Escobar, Al Escobar, yeah. like
Alcides
Exodus?
or something like that. Yeah, I'm combining what you said now. You said it started with an L and it was something like Cepedus or something like.
Yeah.
I think his name is. I can't remember how to pronounce it though. And I
remember him playing with the Royals.
It's got to be it. It's got to be it. Okay, I don't even know how to pronounce it though. You try.
Alcides Escobar Tolo Colon.
Okay. And Fudge, what did you check in with?
Well, we finally got one, which is a sigh of relief here. We immediately latched on to Royals Mets. So we just named the entire Royals infield, which would have been Eric Hosmer, Alcides Escobar, Mike Moustakas, Omar Infante, and Sal Perez. So then we tried to figure out the Mets side. It's either a pitcher or like a platoon player to play in 3 of the 5 games. And after thinking about it for a little bit, Dan said Bartolo Colon, which made a lot of sense, and it went with one of them. So we checked in with Alcides Escobar Tolo Colon.
Both teams are getting points. The answer is Alcides Escobar Tolo Colon. In his first game of the series, Bartolo Colon's actually the oldest player to lose a World Series game. He gave up an unearned run due to an error, but it still counts as a loss.
All right, so after the second quarter, we have a scores of Fudge, except we didn't say Fudge with 95, and T is Garbage Water with 180. And that brings us to halftime.
It is now time for the halftime show. There will be 3 entertainment questions pertaining to sports, with each question worth 25 points.
Our halftime today will be a rap lyric fill in the blank.
Yes.
But don't get excited, Scott. Have you heard of the rapper Your Old Droog?
I'm excited because Dan's my partner.
Okay, so there's a rapper. His name's Your Old Droog. You're going to fill in his lyric. He likes to shout out sports-related people. You're going to fill in his lyric with the first and last name of a sports person, and the first and last name will both fit the general rhyme scheme of the lyric.
At least I know how to do rhyme schemes.
That's what I'm saying.
All
This
right.
is why I'm happy I've Dan. He was in a hip hop band. He got Dirty Rotten Rhymer.
I couldn't remember who was in there.
Matt, just so you know, this is the moral equivalent to me of him asking a bunch of movie questions and Mason sitting here. So you're on your own.
No, the beauty of this is no one knows the rapper. So
that's because it's actually a Mish's alter ego. You can tell us. It's fine.
No, this guy is Jewish, though.
So David,
wait, Modest Yahoo?
Oh, I got a chance here.
Where's your
Yiddish names? What's
grab
the name
your
again?
Love Modest Yahoo, by the way.
Yeah.
What is it? Go grab your yarmulke and put it on. Maybe that'll give you some good vibes, you know.
Nice.
Question 1 from the song Basketball and Seinfeld. The lyric is, teeth look like chiclets, big and white like blank. And as I kind of said earlier, for all 3 questions, the first and last name will both rhyme with the words that precede the blank.
I mean, this would fit well, Dan, but I don't think it's the answer.
No, I don't think so.
It fits so well.
Oh, got it. I got it.
Oh, of course.
Oh, Fudge, is that a check-in?
Yes.
Okay, oh, Fudge, except we didn't say Fudge. That's checked in. It's Garbage Water. You can talk it out.
Wait, say again. So you think it's 2 syllables rhyming? The whole thing rhymes with chiclets?
Well, I mean, teeth look like chiclets, big and white like.
Oh, big and white like Rick Smits. It's got to be Rick Smits. It's got to be Rick Smits. Yes.
Is that
I mean, I guess we should think about it, but let's not.
No, let's
check
not.
that in.
Let's go ahead and check that in.
We'll check that in.
okay?
Oh my God.
Tears Garbage Water has checked in with Rick Smits. Oh, Fudge, what did you guys check in with?
It's all it could be was Rick Smits. Big and white, rhymes with chiclets. Yeah, that's it.
Well, it's not all it could be. I feel like I had one that fit, but I think Rick Smits is correct.
It's not a fast break episode, though.
Okay, so both teams are getting points. The halftime I thought was going to be the big disaster, but so far it's going smoothly. The correct answer is teeth look like chiclets, big and white like Rick Smits. But yeah, Rick Smits. I don't know much about him, but that was 2 of the things I did know about him.
That he's big and white?
big and white. Anyway, on to question 2. And I will preface this by saying the person that is the answer to this question is not an athlete, and they're also not even a coach. They're just sports related. Interpret that how you want. From the song War Cry, if it's less than 40 grand, I don't leave my apartment. You think you're in the game, y'all dudes are blank. And I'll just give a hint since both teams are not anywhere. You could try to think of what names could fit the rhyme based on the earlier words.
That's all we're doing.
Dan and I know how to rap, Meesh. Thank you.
No, but I'm making sure.
That's probably for the other guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got bars to this one, Meesh. I just don't think any of them are correct.
I mean, if you invent a line that I think is better than your old Droog's original, I may.
Oh, I got about 7 here.
I mean, Matt, I just went through the alphabet in my head, and I'm just like,
we're not going to come with anything better. Let's check in with that.
really?
Oh I didn't even start the timer on this one because we got the last one so quickly.
Then we should
way over 3 minutes.
We
now.
should kill it.
Yeah.
I honestly don't even want to check in with that. I'd rather check in with nothing.
No, let's try. Who cares? Why not?
Okay. All right.
We'll check in.
Okay. Tia's Garbage Water has checked in. Oh, fudge. You can talk it out.
Can we though? I mean,
Can we wrap it out?
What do you got? I mean,
I got that whole list that I sent to you, which I don't think any of them are correct. But he did say he would give points.
it is a person, right?
Better than this guy's.
It was a person.
He did say to Matt, like when he clarified that it's not a
They're
player or
all
coach,
first
but it
and
is
last
a
name. All
person.
3 answers are first and last names of a person.
Okay.
This one is. Yeah.
So in that case, Dan, if it's less than 40 grand, I don't leave my apartment. You think you win the game, y'all dudes are Clara Barton. Makes a lot of sense.
How about Steve Barton?
Steve Martin?
No.
Steve Barton.
Bartman. Steve Bartman.
That makes more sense than Clara Barton. Because
Yes, a little bit.
because Steve Bartman's a sports. It also makes more sense than Dolly Parton.
And it's sports adjacent.
And it can't be Billy Martin because he was a coach. So yeah, I do like, yeah. That's better than like the Spartans because that's not a person.
No.
Y'all dudes
It's
are like the
lots of
Spartans. Y'all dudes are hardly starting. Y'all dudes are just the Martians, like in Space Jam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's got to be Steve Barton.
I think that is our best bet by far.
All right, we'll check in with Steve
Okay.
Bartman.
Oh, fudge has checked in with Steve Bartman. Tia's Garbage Water. What did you check in with?
All right. So I went through the alphabet, and first I came up with Chris Berman, and then I was like, that doesn't quite work. And then I can't.
You should never rap.
I know, but I came around to Steve Bartman, and then I said to Matt, it fits in the rhyme scheme. And then I suddenly went back and looked at it. It says, you think you in the game, which actually sounds like Steve Bartman because he thinks he's in the game. He tried to make the catch. So we also checked in with Steve Bartman.
Which you didn't want to do.
I did not want to do.
If it's less than 40 grand, I don't leave my apartment. You think you in the game. Y'all dudes are Steve Bartman. I was not expecting both to get that. So good job. Both teams are getting points. Question number 3 from the song 90 from the Line. I ain't even into moving units. That's a bonus. Got Lithuanian shooters like blank.
We can check
I
in.
think we're checked in.
Yeah.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
No.
Fudge has checked in before I sent the question.
We both
Finally.
have.
You
Tia's
said it was
Garbage
the
Water.
full. You said it was the full names, right?
Yes.
Not just the last name.
First and last name. Tia's
Okay,
Garbage
so-
Water. Knock it out.
Even I
You
got
want
this
us?
one.
Already checked in.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
all checked in.
So who do you want to go first, Mish?
Let's go with Tia's Garbage Water because I didn't realize they checked in.
Yeah, I was the first one who checked in.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No. There was so much discussion.
David, you agree that it's Arvydas Savonis?
Oh yeah, it's got to be. You know what's really funny is that I was thinking of Sarunas Marshallonis, which also, but maybe that's too many syllables. Yes, you're probably right. But I mean, the question is it? Oh, we checked in. So whatever you.
I already
whatever
checked
you
in with
checked
Arvydas
okay, all right.
Sabonis, so yeah.
Yes.
And Tia's Fudge, what did you check in with?
Scott, he's not your Vetus. He's not my Vetus. He's our Vetus. Our Vetus Sabonis.
Okay. Neither team is getting points.
Whoa!
This was
Montes.
You guys went kind of quick. I ain't even into moving units. That's a bonus. Got Lithuanian shooters like Sarunas Marshallonis because it's okay.
It's a shooter.
I mean, units. That's a bonus. Like the unit. I don't know.
The moving units is Sarunas.
Yeah.
Bonus is Marshallonis.
I mean,
I got it.
both of you got it the same, so I don't feel. But yeah.
I just didn't think Sarunas Marshallonis' name would ever be in a song.
Well, okay, that is actually the inspiration. That's the inspiration for the halftime because, as Scott said, there are rap fans in this game right now, and all of us have heard rappers say the line about like, "Oh, I don't care about how much albums I sell. I just do it for the game or whatever." But none of them just randomly throw Sarunas Marshallonis into that and rhyme units. That's a bonus with Sarunas Marshallonis, and I was like, "That's amazing." Halftime.
Okay, so after halftime, we have a score of O Fudge, except we didn't say Fudge, with 145, and T is Garbage Water with 230. And
for a lucky 7.
now on to the second half.
We'd like to take a minute to invite you to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at BenchwarmersTP. We also have a Facebook group for fans of the pod called The Bench. Join us there to comment on the latest episodes and share cool sports facts and trivia. If you'd be willing to rate and review us on iTunes or Stitcher, we'd greatly appreciate the support so that other people may find this podcast. Thanks.
Or what did Scott just say?
Said let's hope there's a lucky 7.
Today's third quarter is lucky 7.
Lucky 7. For this quarter, there will be 3 lists containing 7 items. The team that is trailing coming into the quarter will choose the first list and attempt to identify the items on this list one at a time. If the team has an incorrect guess, the other team can attempt to finish that list out. The team leading at the beginning of the quarter will select the second list, and whichever team is trailing after the first 2 lists will get the third list. Each item is worth 10 points.
So there are 3 questions for lucky 7. Number 1, there are 49 players in the NBA's 20,000 point club. Name the 7 who scored less than 10,000 with every franchise they played for. Question 2, which 7 men's golfers have gotten their second career major victory the most recently? In other words, of all who joined the multiple majors club the most recently? And then the third question, the last 7 Big Ten running backs drafted in the first round.
Yeah, I mean, Dan, I that's obviously the one that I'm leaning towards. And I think I have a good strategy as to how to go about it.
Oh, Fudge, you get the first list choice. Which one will it be?
It's a draft question, so we're going to go with the last 7 Big Ten running backs drafted in the first round.
The only one I probably could have had any hope of being helpful with.
Well, that's kind of the other reason we have to take it.
All right, Dan and Scott are taking the last 7 Big Ten running backs drafted in the first round. Let me know when you're ready to check in.
All right, Meesh, we're going to go ahead and check in.
Okay. Oh, Fudge has checked in. You guys can start reading out your list.
All right, we're going to start with Saquon Barkley.
Number 1 on the list, the most recent Big Ten running back drafted in the first round, Saquon Barkley.
Okay, we're going to say Ezekiel Elliott.
Number 2 on the list is Ezekiel Elliott.
We're going to go with Melvin Gordon.
Number 3 on the list is Melvin Gordon.
Okay, this is where things get a little trickier. We're going to say Beanie Wells.
Number 4 on the list is Beanie Wells.
Rashard Mendenhall.
Number 5 on the list is Rashard Mendenhall.
Jeez, that goes back.
Lawrence Maroney.
Number 6 on the list
Oh
is
my
Lawrence
gosh.
Maroney.
Man, this is incredible. I feel so smart right now.
We'll see if number 7 gets us there.
I don't think it does, but again, it's the one we had. So
Yep.
We're going to say Larry Johnson.
Larry Johnson is number 8 on the list.
No!
That was almost the most impressive thing I've ever seen in my life.
It's still impressive.
No, it's still top 5. It just would have been solid number 1. Okay, so there's one remaining item on the list, and if you were paying attention, it is number 7. So T is garbage water. You can talk it out.
The list I had was Barclay, Elliott, Wells, Gordon, Mendenhall, Maroney is a bunch of question marks on here, and Larry Johnson. The other name I have on here is Chris Perry from Michigan. Don't know. I think he was about the time that Larry Johnson came out, but I have no idea if he was before or after him. And I have no idea if there was some sneaky Northwestern guard or running back that magically took a first round draft pick in 2002 or something like that. So that's the only guess I have.
Oh, whatever you want, go for it.
Oh, we're gonna go with Chris Perry.
I'm pretty sure that's it.
Okay. And yes, number 7 on the list out of Michigan is Chris Perry. Chris Perry was 2004. Larry Johnson was 2003. But very good job.
Yeah, Chris Perry crossed my mind because I went through Michigan backs, but for some reason I couldn't remember whether or not he was a first rounder. I know he was a Heisman finalist.
So it's 2 Ohio State, and then 1 Penn State, 1 Wisconsin, 1 Illinois, 1 Minnesota, 1 Michigan. So very spread out.
Now, if you had asked a question about rap lyrics with Lawrence Maroney and something jabroni, that would have been cool.
I was hoping you guys would get tripped up on oh my gosh, why am I blanking on the Badgers running back that went number
Jonathan
2?
Taylor?
No, that went in the second round to the Broncos, like
Monty Ball.
Monty Ball, yes.
Yeah, he came in my head, and I was like, no, he was a second rounder. They have a lot of second round. There's a lot of second round running backs.
They did, yeah.
Like Sean Green from Iowa.
You were asking earlier, Dan, where Seneca Wallace went to college, and it was Iowa State. An interesting fact, because I Googled it. I was curious about this because I was, we already checked in, so I looked it up. And, he's an assistant coach right now for the Cowboys. Interesting.
Seneca Wallace?
Yeah.
You know what? Oh, yeah, I did know that because I saw him when I went to the preseason game. I saw him on the sidelines. Couldn't remember who it was, but remembered the face. And now that you say that, Matt, it was definitely Seneca Wallace.
Yeah. I always liked that guy, even though he only played for the Packers for a little while. But anyway.
Yeah.
What are we doing, David?
Mish, we're gonna take question number 1.
I figured.
Okay, question number 1. There are 49 players in the NBA's 20,000 point club. Name the 7 who scored less than 10,000 for every franchise they played for.
And we will check
David,
it out.
Have fun.
Okay,
we're gonna take a nap.
We're gonna check in.
Okay. To use garbage water, I've checked in. You can start reading out your list.
All right. I'm gonna start with Antoine Jameson.
Antoine Jameson is on the list.
Then I'm going to go with Vince Carter.
Vince Carter is on the list.
Get my 2 UNC guys out of the way. Then I'm going to go with Chris Paul.
Chris Paul is also on the list.
I'm going to go with Tom Chambers.
Tom Chambers is also on the list.
All right, Paul Gasol.
Paul Gasol is also on the list. You have 2 left.
This is where the wheels probably come off, but I'm going to say Ray Allen.
Ray Allen is on the list. There's 1 remaining.
Okay. I'm by far the least sure about this, but I'm going to say Joe Johnson.
Joe Johnson is not on the list.
Okay. Oof. Okay.
Oh, fudge. You can talk this one out.
I'm tired.
I don't have anything to talk out. I've been listing golfers.
Do you think Trace McGrady got to 20K? Because I think he did, and I don't know if he would have gotten to 10 with the Rockets. Raptors, Magic,
very well good have.
Rockets, and then he played for like 4 teams at the end of his career. He bounced around. He could be an option. Mitch Richmond, did he get to 20?
Could have been,
Because he's
favorite.
And he's someone that, he bounced around. He wasn't anywhere long enough, I don't think, to necessarily get to 10 with any one team.
Yeah. I think I like him more than I like the other ones you've named.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thing with Richmond, I mean, I think he got the points. Thing with him is that.
Do you think he got to 10 with the?
I think he may
Kings?
have done it with the Kings, but I don't know.
How he wasn't there? I don't think he was there as long as.
He was there most of the 90s.
Was he there like 7-8 years?
Yeah.
All right. Well, then he probably got there with the Kings. Do you think Weber got there with the Kings?
I don't know if Weber got 20,000.
Yeah, I don't know either. I'm thinking of guys who played for a while.
Yeah, I don't know. Do
you like Weber or McGrady better? I think McGrady's more likely to have 20,000 than Weber.
Yeah, probably.
And I think Weber's stayed with a team longer than McGrady stayed with any of his teams.
Sorry.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
So we'll just go with McGrady. I mean, I don't feel confident, but
Tracy
it's an answer.
McGrady is not on the list. The 7th on the list, which I was not, I would have been very impressed, but was Walt Bellamy. David did as perfect a job as you can reasonably expect someone, because Joe Johnson was solidly over 10,000 with the Hawks, but he was the closest one. He was the closest close call.
Oh, I couldn't come up with anybody. I knew he was a long shot.
But the names I wrote down as broke 20,000, but slightly broke 10K: Shaq, Carmelo, Moses Malone, Adrian Dantley, LaMarcus Aldridge, Mitch Richmond, and Joe Johnson.
Who was the first one? Jack?
Shaq.
Oh, Shaq.
And then the ones who would have gotten it had they gotten to 20K, but were just below 20,000, were Bernard King, Clifford Robinson, Terry Cummings, Jamal Crawford, Rando. So thank God they weren't on the list. Eddie Johnson, who I don't even know who that is. Dale Ellis.
So basically, David did as well on that one as we did on the running.
He did
backs,
a perfect job.
But instead, David gets more praise than we did on the running back.
No, I give him a lot of praise.
He said it was like the best thing he ever heard.
No, he said it was in the top 5, Matt.
I didn't even rank David yet.
Yeah, I wasn't ranked. I was not ranked.
But I did call it perfect. But
right, well,
anyway,
Dan's gonna have his golf question, so we can move this along. He's gonna have all of his golfers ready.
So that leaves the golf question. Oh, fudge.
So we've lost points already on this one.
Yes.
10 points.
But that's why we love Lucky
We didn't
7.
have 10 points to spare. We didn't have a square to spare.
Correct. I like your list, Dan.
That's
I've heard of
6.
I've heard of all those people, so that's good.
That's only 6, though.
Yeah, so we need. All right.
That's funny. I have 6 too.
Let's okay. We'll check in.
Okay. Oh, fudge has checked in. You guys can read out your list.
All right. Start with Dustin Johnson.
Dustin Johnson is number 3 on the list. The 2020 Masters was his second.
If that was number 3, then I'm feeling really bad. But I'm checked in. So, all right. Brooks Koepka.
Brooks Koepka is number 4.
Good. We
So
have
you're
a
saying
proclivity for that guy.
his second one got
His second major is the 4th most recent.
Wow. Okay. I feel
That wording made it sound more complicated.
Jordan Spieth.
Jordan Spieth is number 6 on the list.
Yeah, then
Go with the one.
I'm missing some then
Yeah.
because
Go with who you think might be in between Koepka and Spieth, because they were 4th and 6th.
yeah, I'm gonna have to go to Zach Johnson,
Zach Johnson's number 5.
Bubba Watson.
Bubba Watson is number 8. He is not on the list.
Oh,
So Oh Fudge got 4 of the 7. There are 3 left. Numbers 1, 2, and 7.
Okay, so we get the DeChambeau.
No. The first 2 guesses for sure. Um,
Well, no, I'm not checking anything.
got it. Okay.
This is where David forgets how the game goes.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's on the host for not telling your team that you can talk it out.
Okay, there you go.
Yes, thank you.
Blame the first time host. Yeah,
exactly.
Sure,
Good.
Sure, right.
So
Thanks,
the guys that I would put on the list actually are Justin Thomas, because I think he won. I believe he won his second this year. He might be the most recent. And the other guy is Colin.
Alcides.
No, but thank you for the distraction. It's that guy. He also went to Cal, just like our friend Adrian. Morikawa, and
Gesundheit.
thank you, Justin Thomas and Colin Morikawa. I'm pretty sure on the list. If you want to go for DeChambeau after that, that's fine.
I know two modern golfers. That's DeChambeau and Brooks Koepka, only because of
we have a proclivity for
Koepka's. Okay, so we're gonna guess. Okay, so we'll guess them in that order because I don't have a seventh anyway. Wait, they got 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
They got 4.
Okay, so we're gonna guess Justin Thomas. Well, we'll check in, and our official guess is Justin Thomas.
Justin Thomas is number 1 on the list.
And then Colin Morikawa.
Colin Morikawa is number 2 on the list, leaving number 7.
And now I guess if you want to guess DeChambeau, that's fine because I don't have
no
anybody
idea
else.
if he even won 2. I just was trying to name a dude. Do you have any?
We've guessed all Americans. That's the other piece. I don't think it goes back as far as Rory McIlroy or Sergio Garcia or any of those people, but I mean, it's always possible it's not American. But anyway, we'll guess DeChambeau because I don't have anything else.
DeChambeau is not on the list. Number 7.
I think I know the other one.
Say
now.
it. I would be impressed.
Is it Kamer, Germany?
It is. Holy. Martin Keimer, the 2014 U.S. Open winner. Wow.
Good job, Dan.
Yeah, he beat out.
Didn't get it, but yeah.
He beat out Bubba Watson, not in a tiebreaker, but I believe he was the major after Bubba Watson.
Oh,
the 2014 U.S. versus the 2014 Masters.
All right, so after the third quarter, we have a score of fudge, except we didn't say fudge, with 245, and T is garbage water with 320. And that will take us to the fourth quarter.
The fourth quarter, known as Put Your Fours Up. This quarter consists of 4 categorized questions that teams will wager up to 100 points each, not to exceed their current point total.
Okay, so the 4 questions for the fourth quarter are as follows. Question 1 in We Are Family, which will pertain to active NBA brothers. Question 2, Got to Be Real, which will be about soccer. I'll say got to be real. Number 3, And the Beat Goes On, about 21st century MLB playoffs. And question 4, Young Hearts Run Free, about NFL running backs. It is now time for the teams to place their wagers. Now that the wagers are in, on to the questions. Question 1 in We Are Family. The November 16th, 2019 game between the Pacers and Bucks was the first time in NBA history that 3 pairs of brothers appeared in the same game. Name all 3 last names.
We're checked in.
Oh, Fudge has checked in. He is garbage water. You can talk it out.
This is when you say words.
Entertaining. Okay, so pretty sure the Lopez's. That would be sort of obvious. And Giannis and his brother. I don't know how close we have to get to pronouncing that correctly, since I was just calling Giannis.
Antetokounmpo.
The
Name
Greek
all 3 last names.
Greek freak, and his last name is Freak, right?
Antetokounmpo.
Okay, that's good. So the third one have to be guys on the Pacers.
Yeah.
Did they have 2 of the Holidays back then? Aren't there 3
Again,
of those? Aren't there 3 of those guys?
Knowing that the Atentacoupo brothers played both for the Bucks is pretty much what you're going to get from me.
That's as far as you got.
Yep.
Well, so the Lopez's both played for the Bucks back then.
I think you're right, but I don't. I mean,
so then it's obviously got to be the Pacers. Otherwise, they would have set this record every night. So
exactly.
I think it's the Holidays, but don't. I mean, that's the best I'm going to get. I don't know. We could sit here all night. I don't know that I'll have a better guess. Let's just guess Holiday.
We're going to check in with Lopez, Holiday, and Atentacoupo for 50 points.
And for 50, and Fudge, what did you check in with?
Yeah, we only had, there were so many options to choose from, right? Like you start to think brothers, you think maybe the Plumlees, maybe the Zellers. But I knew that, we knew that Giannis and at least one of his brothers were on the Bucks at that point. And Brooke and Robin Lopez were definitely both in that game. So, and then I knew that at least Aaron Holiday was on the Pacers. Drew would eventually be on the Bucks. No, not sure if he was at this point or not, but I also think that the other Holiday brother was also on the Pacers. So we checked in with the same 3. So that's Antetokounmpo, Lopez, and Holiday for 80 points.
And both teams are getting points. The correct answer is Antetokounmpo, Giannis, and Thanasis were still both on the Bucks. Brooke and Robin Lopez. Robin Lopez is now on the Cavs, and then Justin and Aaron Holiday, who were both on the Pacers at the time. And fun fact, they're both on the Hawks now, so they're still teammates.
And had this game been a few months later, Drew would have been on the Bucks, and there would have been 3 Holidays in that game.
On to question 2, and got to be Real. Since 2010, a Real Madrid player has won the Ballon d'Or 6 times. Name 2 of the 3 unique players that won those 6 awards. And for those who don't know, the Ballon d'Or is kind of like the MVP of the world for soccer.
We're checked in.
Okay. Fudge has checked in. Tia's garbage water. You can talk it out.
All right. So it's Ronaldo and Lucky Johnson.
Sure. I mean, I saw the pictures of the guy who won it this year, but it's a fraud. The Ballon d'Or has been a fraud for years. It's a waste of time. And really nobody in major soccer even pays attention to it anymore. It's stupid. So it's just a popularity game with the French Football Federation. So Ronaldo and Lucky Johnson for 0 points.
For 0 points.
Okay, and Fudge.
You call us Honey?
I was what's that? I was getting in my disco theme of the fourth quarter questions, and there's that song "Oh Honey."
I thought he was talking to us like
Katy Perry.
How I Met Your Mother.
No,
Katy Perry.
When I was writing this fourth quarter, I thought of, when I was looking through like disco songs, I was thinking of using "Oh Honey" by Delegation.
I mean, "Oh Honey" goes with our "How I Met Your Mother" Fudge theme, so that was kind of perfect.
But so what did you guys check in with? Fudge.
We didn't have anything. We just wanted to make them talk it out. We bet 0.
I typed it Dan Lewandowski.
Well, neither team is getting points, and both teams bet 0. The correct answer is Karim Benzema was awarded it yesterday. Cristiano Ronaldo won it in 2013, 14, 16, and 17. And the third player is Luka Modric in 2018.
You said Benzino was the guy that got it yesterday?
Karim Benzema.
The dude that feuded with Eminem?
Benzema? Did you say?
This was the first time.
I like to get my enema like Karim Benzema.
Let's isolate that, Eric.
David, never rap, buddy. Please don't do it.
Awesome. What? That wasn't a good. Oh, I thought that was pretty
enema
good.
And
Benzema? Come on.
That's pretty close.
But why are you? Never mind.
I would have rhymed eczema with it more than
eczema. There you go. All right, that would have also worked. Okay.
On to question 3. And the beat goes on. The MLB expanded to 30 teams in 1998. Since then, There are 4 MLB teams that have won fewer than 7 total playoff games. Name 3 of the 4 teams.
Let's check in then.
Oh, Fudge, except we didn't say Fudge, has checked in. Here's garbage water. You can talk it out.
Oof. So we were close to guessing the Padres, but then we realized they've won 5 games already this year.
That's why I asked a clarifying question.
As of this recording. So the ones we're pretty sure about are the Twins, the Minnesota Twins, and the Pittsburgh Pirates. And who else did we throw around as candidates? I'm pretty sure the Mariners.
The Reds?
The Reds are an interesting one. So the Reds, I mean, they've been pretty awful for pretty long. I think the Reds are an interesting one. I mean, I think that when they've made it, they certainly haven't been in the World Series since 1990. And there was a time in the mid-90s that I think they lost to the Braves in the NL Championship Series, but that was already before this. Yeah. So they had a couple times. I feel like the Reds is a pretty good guess. I'm tempted to go Reds, Pirates, Twins.
And then what do you think the fourth one might be? If you had to guess.
Okay, so we know it's not the Padres.
Yeah.
You only need 3 guys.
It's
no,
not
I know.
It's not the Diamondbacks. It's not the Rockies. I'm just trying to think if we're pretty sure it's...
We went through the entire league. The only other ones I could think of would be the Mariners or...
The Mariners may be close.
Yeah, let's just go with... We'll go ahead and check in with the Pirates, Twins, and Reds for 71 points.
Oh, Fudge, what did you check in with?
I'll let Dan give one of them.
All right. Well, yeah, the Twins have famously not won anything since 2002. They won 4 games and have won 2 more since. So there's 6 there. So
and then
there's that.
We threw around a lot of the other teams that these guys mentioned. We also thought maybe Baltimore was close, depending on what they did in '98, because they've only had the 1 playoff series really since then, and it was a divisional series. And then we also threw around the Brewers as well, because they're a team that they've made it a handful of times, but they always seem to lose very quickly in the division series. So not sure that they necessarily have gotten to 7 either. But we wanted to go with the ones we felt most confident in. So we went with the Twins. We went with the Mariners because they've only made it twice, and if they haven't gotten past the divisional series, there's no way they could have won more than 7. So we went with Twins, Mariners, and we went with the Pirates because they almost never make the playoffs. And again, when they did with McCutchen, pretty sure there were early exits. So Mariners, Twins, Pirates, and we wagered 80 points.
Okay, 1 team is getting points. The 4 answers are with only 2 wins, and the only team with no series wins is the Reds. With 3 wins is the Pirates, 6 wins is the Orioles, and 6 wins is the Twins. So T is garbage water. You are getting points.
Oh, so it is.
And then
the
the teams, the Rockies had 9, but they made a World Series, so you could eliminate them. The Blue Jays were 10. They had a deep run. I think they lost to Cleveland in 2016. Yep. The Mariners were at 11. And I recall when
did they go to the ALCS?
They went to the ALCS in 2000 and 2001, and they won the wild card this year.
I thought it was the DS. That's why. I didn't realize it was the ALCS both of those years.
Right. They had 3 wins.
I didn't even think of the Orioles.
Yeah. I don't know why they.
Well, the thing that threw me off was 98. They were good in 99. So I thought maybe they had snuck in and gotten more than 7, but I guess they haven't.
The final question in Young Hearts Run Free. Who is the last rookie from each AFC West team, current AFC West team, to rush for 1,000 or more yards? And then I give a hint that the 4 years they took place, I'm not giving the corresponding teams to those years, are 2001, 2017, 2018, and 2019.
We're checked in, Meesh.
Oh, Fudge has checked in. T is garbage water. You can talk it out.
Okay, so I have no idea the years. I'm just going to throw out an AFC West running backs that I think had 1,000 yards in their rookie season. And I'm going to say Josh Jacobs for the Raiders.
That's alliterative, Matt.
Yep, it is. Then, and now all of a sudden I'm spacing on his name. Holy cow. The Wisconsin running back that was with the Chargers and now is with the Broncos. Oh, why can't I think of his name? Not Monty Ball, the other one.
Oh, I was about to say Monty Ball because it's the one Wisconsin
No.
run. That was the one Wisconsin guy I could think of on the top.
Come on.
Ron Dane?
No. This is he's still in the league right now. He plays for Denver right now. And he played for the Chargers for like 3 or 4 seasons. 4 seasons. He for like a week and a half or like a week, he had the college football record for most yards in a game.
I want to help you so badly.
Oh, come on.
What
Matt.
team is he on now?
He's with the Broncos right now.
As David pulls up the Broncos roster.
I'm just trying to think. No, because for some reason, when you said that, I've been thinking about Wisconsin running backs. Oh! You're thinking of Melvin Gordon.
Melvin Gordon. There you go.
Yeah.
So Gordon Jacobs.
Melvin Gordon.
So that'd be the Chargers. So we got to think of the Broncos.
And the Chefs.
Oh, they had some guy that was like for 1 year was really good.
That's every year for them, man.
Yeah.
Googly.
Wasn't that there was some running back that was really good for 1 season? It was on like the cover of Madden and then never went anywhere. That wasn't Peyton Hillis, was it? No, he didn't get 1,000 yards, did he?
I don't know. I can't work under these conditions.
Okay, well then let's think of the.
You guys won.
Yeah. I mean,
let's think of the.
I'm not inspired.
The Chiefs.
I mean, could it have been 2001?
He could be 2001. That could be.
And that's the last Chiefs running back to go over 1,000 yards. I guess it's possible.
No, rookie, not in general.
Rookie, yeah.
Oh, sorry, that's what I meant to say. Yeah.
I know. If that was in general, that's really bad.
I don't know. I'm not going to come up with it. I'm not.
That's fine. Let's just check in with Gordon, Jacobs, Deuteronomy, and Smith.
Deuteronomy and Smith, the law firm of Deuteronomy and Smith,
for 50 points.
And Fudge, what did you check in?
I tried to base this on the years and tried to figure out the years. So I immediately came up with the alliterative name of Josh Jacobs for the Raiders. I think that made sense. I think the key here was to figure out which one went back to 2001. And I think based on the teams, I think that had to be the Chargers and LaDainian Tomlinson. And then it was figuring out the Chiefs and the Broncos. So I think the Chiefs would have been Kareem Hunt in 2017. And then that left the Broncos. And the only person I could think of was the undrafted rookie who ran for over 1,000 for them, which was Philip Lindsay. So for 85 points, we're checking in with LaDainian Tomlinson, Kareem Hunt, Josh Jacobs, and Philip Lindsay.
And one team is getting points. 2001 Chargers, LaDainian Tomlinson. 2017 Chiefs, Kareem Hunt. 2018 Broncos, Philip Lindsay. 2019 Raiders, Josh Jacobs. Good job, Fudge.
Yeah. Well,
was that one of the most impressive things you've ever seen, Meesh?
It's number 5. I think it's number 7, I'd say.
No, it's number 8 because we would have gotten points for it if it was 7.
All right, well, this game has come to an end, and here are our final scores. With 330 points is Fudge, except I didn't say Fudge. But our clipboard captains receiving the prestigious Thad Lewis Award with 391 points is T is Garbage Water.
Good job, guys.
Yay! That's the match we need.
All right. Yay. Thank you, Meesh. This was a very, very challenging game. So
my head hurts, guys.
But thank you very much. It's hard work writing a game, and I liked you had a lot of creativity in your questions, so I appreciate all the hard work.
Thank you for coming on and writing. It is definitely not an easy thing to write, and it often takes our guests or even us, a few games to get in a rhythm, especially engaging how hard questions should be, for sure. So thank you for coming on. Thank you for the support for the podcast, and next time we'll make you play again.
Thank you for coming on, though. It was a tough game. It nearly broke me, but you did a good job. So thanks for coming on.
I echo what everyone else has said. Honestly, like it still baffles me that people even want to like write questions and host a game for us. Like, we're just a bunch of dudes that decided to do this. And the fact that we have people who support us and like us enough to even be willing to take time out of their own lives to write a full game and host it for us is still pretty astonishing.
You haven't seen my life, Scott.
So like, I just like this is something that I used
got a lot of
to
time.
do. Yeah, this is just something that I used to do for fun, like without any stakes. And so for people to do this for us, like, and that goes to anyone who's guest hosted for us. Like, it's really awesome that you guys have done this. It's great for us because it's really nice for all of us to be able to sit back and just play and not have to, host. So it's really nice for us to get a break. We really appreciate that as well. So I like this game, Meesh. Yes, it was hard. The pre and post game broke me. That's the first time a pre and post game round has ever broken me. But I appreciate the thought that went into a lot of your questions. I love draft questions. So I thought your Lucky 7 Big Ten running back question was great. I like the last question mostly because I got all 4 of them.
You should go ahead and give us our tagline.
Thanks for listening to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast. And until next time, we'll keep the bench warm.
That ball hit high and deep. Stretch! Get on back there. They look up. You can put it on the board. Yes!
Into deep left center for Mitchell. And we'll see you tomorrow night.
That great music you're listening to is by Justin Nozick. Thanks to him for producing that music for us. You've been listening to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast. Make sure to check us out on all of our social media. We are at Benchwarmers TP.